Welcome back to Love and Junk. I'm Laura.
I'm John.
And today we're out in the world trying foods. You see napkins and
Other
probably
stuff.
trash everywhere. But we're here to give you a little life update.
That's right.
We'd love to hear what's happening in your world too. But I know that we've been super absent and we apologize for that. Things happen, right?
That's right.
And
holidays, we've had some other issues, as you're aware, and, we're getting back to it now.
yeah, so we're going to talk about some changes and some things that we'll talk about the channel at the end. But first, let's talk about some updates. The cats are great.
Cats are doing well.
Anything new to report? We had an interesting Christmas. They were both interested in the tree.
Yeah.
Always, all the time. Nothing got broken. Knock on wood.
Well, the pickle ornament got broke.
Oh, yeah.
They knocked that out of the tree.
Yeah. Loki, I don't know if you remember from last year, I would say he wouldn't let me wrap presents, and he was so excited and so into Christmas. It was the exact same thing all over again.
Yeah.
Loki loves Christmas. He was so excited about the tree and rubbing on everything he could, and he loved watching me wrap presents and helping me wrap presents. And and Logan was interested in the tree and the lights and that. And he liked to chew on the tree and the lights.
Yeah.
We caught him all the time. And trees have that fire retardant that they're sprayed with. And so that always made me nervous.
Yeah.
But they both had a good Christmas. They both got lots and lots of things. Walking around our house is
dangerous.
Yeah.
And Logan is turning out to be such a good boy. Such a good boy now. As he's getting older, he's getting more comfortable. When we first got him, I think he was a stray as a kitten. And then, we adopted him, and he was so nervous at the very beginning. We would walk into the room and he would jet out and hide under the couch. And now he's such a sweet boy.
Yeah. They both are seeking attention. We don't have to go to them always and say, I'm going to give you love. Like, they're both coming to us with loves. And Loki is settling into being a big brother. He's a little rough with Logan at times.
Lays down the law.
But he loves his little brother, and you find them curled up together most of the time. So there's that. We ended camping season.
Yeah.
And we winterized the camper for the first time. A little bit of a tease, I guess, is, first of all, I want to say I loved having a camper.
Yeah, it was fun.
It got us out doing things and going places. I love that we could go to all these concerts and visit all these places and then come back and have all of your creature comforts.
For sure.
Your favorite blanket, a fan. Yeah, I'm a fan sleeper. John is a convert. But have our cats there.
Yeah.
And the things that, I've, with my anxiety and John's anxiety, those little things really help. The cats in particular really help me want to get out. Isn't that weird? So I probably qualify, all things considered, for an emotional support animal because they are really that for me. But anyway, I loved having a camper. That was so fun. We know that we owe you a million videos on that channel. They are still going to come out. They're just going to come out late. We have to give John a chance to catch up because he's done nothing but take care of me lately. So those videos will still come out as he has time. But I loved having a camper. But spoiler, I think we're going to get a new camper or a different camper.
Already. A different one. Yeah. So we'll probably end up selling this one and then go for something a little bit more different. So.
Yeah. And we'll do a video about that, like what we didn't like or why we're changing. Yeah, I think we just want a different layout, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's that. And then we had a kid living with us, an adult child who had moved back home. And I'm not going to tell you about his whole life because that's his business if he wants to put it out there. But let's say he was in a less than perfect situation, which is why he moved home.
Yeah.
And we saw him change before our eyes. I told John, you've never met this kid before, because he had been in that situation the entire time we were together.
Right.
And
yeah, he's doing so good.
He really is in a good place, and he has moved out, and he has a new friend that he has that that person to spend time with a lot, and he has new roommates that are very encouraging to him, and he's very positive, and I have my kid back.
Yeah.
And that's been very happy for me. And when I talked about, I think I alluded to it in a couple of videos, that there was personal things causing me a lot of stress, and that was the root of it.
Right.
Then my health. Should we talk about that for a second?
Oh, we probably should, yeah.
So, the reason we've been gone is, and by the way, this is a mature conversation. I'm gonna not tell you all the gory details, but if you are not just a woman, but if you love a woman, then you might want to stick around, because it's, John has learned a lot too.
Absolutely.
It's not just for women to know.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was having issues with my period, and that was one of the problems I was having. And it was causing me all kinds of symptoms and lots and lots and lots of pain. I feel like I was pale a lot. Right. And I started having issues with fainting, falling. I felt real wobbly when I would walk. Just I don't know. Like if I were in the hospital, it definitely would have said fall risk. I just felt not like myself. So I knew that I was at the age for perimenopause, and I had looked up 100 times what to expect.
Right.
Everything that it said to expect is what I was experiencing. Irregularity, in frequency, in flow, in, I would say, night sweats and trouble sleeping and all of those things.
Right.
And so I just kept saying, it's perimenopause. And when is it going to end? Is it ever going to end? Then I started having the falls. And during this time, I started seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist because of the issues I was mentioning. I was really struggling with it. So I needed somebody to talk to, and it has been the best thing that's ever happened to me, was meeting this psychiatrist. Mm-hmm. He was a real advocate for me, and I can't thank him enough. So I went to see the therapist, and we talked about things, and that helped some. But it's the psychiatrist that was like, this doesn't seem normal, all this falling. And I don't want you to drive. I want you to go make an appointment with a doctor. And he's like, the things that you're saying have been going on for a long time, and let's just make sure.
Yeah.
And the other favor that he did for me is he went ahead and called in all of the labs, instead of waiting for me, because I had to wait to go see the doctor, instead of waiting for me to go see the doctor and her then ordering all of those labs. He had them ordered.
Yeah, that was a godsend. That guy was a genius in getting that stuff started, because we already were ahead of the game. So.
Yeah. So then when I saw my doctor, she could look at my hormone levels and tell that I should have already been in menopause, and something else was causing the issues.
Yeah. And so she was really worried about cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. They absolutely said it. So then I got, she wanted me to go see a neurologist, a cardiologist, and a gynecologist. And so to just rule out where are these falls coming from? Was I having many strokes? Was I having seizures? Because you remember the story that somewhere along here, I absolutely passed completely out, and John was with me.
Lips were blue. She wasn't breathing. It was scary.
Yeah.
Frightening.
So anyway, they had told me that the neurologist would take a very, very, very long time, and I won't hear from somebody for a while. First person I heard from, and it was right away, was the gynecologist. So I went to see her. I explained everything that was going on. She was very, very, very concerned, and she ordered an internal ultrasound, kind of right away. I think it was like the very next week or something. So I went in for that. And I don't know if I told you this, but I could see, and I could see lumps.
I didn't know that.
But it was one of those things like, I'm not trained. Maybe that's my ovary. Maybe that's my, but I felt like from her demeanor and from what I was seeing and how she kept stopping and taking notes and stuff, that there was something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had the feeling from the ultrasound. That came back and it said that I had 4 masses, 1 on each side of my uterus and 2 had attached to my right ovary. So then they scheduled a biopsy, and I talked to my psychiatrist in the meantime. He was just keeping me, if you're already struggling and then now you're
dealing with all that
dealing
stuff,
with that. Like, I definitely kept seeing my psychiatrist and was updating him on what was going on. And he said, because I was so worried about the biopsy, he's like, without a doubt, they will medicate you before they do this biopsy. And as much as I love the psychiatrist, he was wrong. But he did tell me, I said, should I take my regular like psych meds? Because I have like a regular one that I take daily. And then I have a rescue med, like if I have a panic attack. So I'm like, should I take one of those? And he goes, why don't you do this? Why don't you call that doctor and tell her you're having anxiety and ask her? So I did that, and they called in Xanax, which is not my normal rescue med, but they called that in for me. I did use one, and thank God I did. But what I really needed was pain meds.
Right.
When I tell you that I've been through a lot of stuff, and that's probably in my top 3, like, most painful things I've ever went through. I'm not kidding. First of all, I have a tilted uterus. And so it makes it sometimes a little challenging to put the clamp on.
Right, which is our new band name, by the way. Tilted Uterus.
Oh, I thought you meant put the clamp on. So anyway, and she knew it. She kept saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like the whole time she knew she was hurting me. What I didn't know is, and I'm not trying to scare you if you have to have a biopsy. I'm just trying to be real. I want you to be prepared. They told me to take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen ahead of time. So I knew that there would be some kind of pain, but I was not prepared for how much pain. And in my head, I thought a biopsy is like a little snip or a slice or whatever. And is that what it normally is? I don't know. Have you ever had one?
No.
So I don't know your experience. And maybe it's because of the location, but it was like jab, 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 like over and over and over and over and over and over and over, about that long. And, up inside my body. And then, because there was multiples, it had to happen again. And the whole time the doctor's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, she knew that it was very painful. So anyways, I had that done. Thank the Lord, everything came back benign from that biopsy. The experience was horrible, but the results were good. So I still have to have all of that removed. I have a consultation with the surgeon in just a couple of days. So at this point, I've had an EEG done, which have you ever had that done? It was a crazy experience. I was in a dark room and they had a light right here, and you close your eyes, and then this huge, like, you know, spotlight is this close to your face, and it's like whoom, 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 or it might be da 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 da, like
Flashing.
like for real, if you were prone to seizures, you absolutely, I think, would have one.
Right.
That, you know?
Yeah.
And I know how they sensed my anxiety because I didn't know if I'd ever had a seizure before, and I felt like I was going to have one. So immediately, as soon as that thought popped into my head, then I had horrible anxiety about it. So you have to do that for like 3 minutes. Then you do some breathing for like a couple of minutes, and then you just lay in the dark and they just scan your brain waves. I passed. I don't know how, but I did.
Yeah, so she passed, so that's good.
Right.
Lots of good news. A lot of tests.
Yeah.
A lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, but also good news.
And then I went to the cardiologist, and he wants me to have 3 tests done. I need a clean bill of health from the cardiologist in order to have the surgery that I need, or at least they need to be prepared for what they need to be looking for.
Right.
So I'm going to have an echocardiogram this month, and a stress test, which is the kind where they give me medication. We kind of locked eyes when he said stress test. And because I had already told John, I'm absolutely not doing the treadmill test. I've done it before. I have asthma, and with the way I've been feeling so wobbly and weak and fallsy downy, I'm like, there's no way. I'm not. If he suggests that, I'm not doing it. But I had this look with the doctor, and he's like, the medication guide. So I'm still a little nervous to have that done. If you've ever had that done, maybe you can tell me what it was like. But anyway, so they just like inject me with something that
and then
stresses
your heart goes
my
racing.
heart. Yeah. So I have that to do. And then he would like for me to do a sleep test. However, I don't think insurance is going to pay for it. I don't think I qualify, and I think I'm good with that.
Yeah. I don't know how you could sleep during the sleep test anyway.
Because all of the questions, my answers were the exact opposite, it seemed, of what they were looking for. Like a sleep test, they were like, do you ever fall asleep at a stop sign or a stoplight? Do you ever fall asleep in the middle of a conversation? I have the opposite of that. I never turn off. I can never just sleep.
Right.
So I don't think that's going to happen, but that's another test I'd like to do, which I'm okay if I can't do it. So I see the surgeon in just a couple of days. Then I go back to my regular doctor. I have to have these couple of tests, and then I'll let you know when the surgery is. And all of this to say, we're going to get out videos as much as we can between.
That's right.
You might see some shorts instead of regular content.
Might see a lot of John cooking videos.
Yeah, or things like that. Because when I'm done with surgery, I'm sure I won't want to be on camera for a little bit. You know, I won't be looking and feeling my best. And so there might be more hauls and I don't know, stuff like that. But we are, now that all of this stuff is almost behind us, we're happy to be back.
That's right.
I don't think we have any other updates. That's kind of been the big...
That's a lot going on.
Yeah, and so we popped back in with one Christmas video, and we filmed a couple of others. Maybe we'll still put them up.
Sure, why not?
But we had bought all this Christmas stuff because, of course, we intended to put out a video every day. And then when we popped back in, and I looked at that video and those videos, I can see it in myself. Yeah. That I was just not feeling well at all. I didn't act like my normal self. I don't think I looked like my normal self. I hope when I watch this back, I feel like I look more like my normal self. I can tell you this. I didn't mention this. They did change my meds. So I think what's made a huge difference is they put me on a hormone right away, and the pain was cut in half at least immediately.
Which is
Remember that?
wonderful. She's been in so much pain, so.
Remember that though?
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, I can't believe it's work. Like I was crying. I couldn't believe that it was like actually working because pain medicine didn't work like that. So I didn't expect a hormone to, but it did. And then the other thing. Oh, and then the other thing that's so important is I was extremely anemic. So as soon as I
Right.
got put on iron, I'm still a little stumbly bumbly, but also that is my nature. I'm kind of a clumsy girl. I think I've mentioned that before, but I haven't felt as weak. Like I could have been laying on the couch and just feeling weak. Like
Yeah.
I can't walk to the bathroom. Like I'm afraid I'm going to fall down in just a few steps. You know?
Yeah.
And it would stress me out when John wasn't home.
But now you're doing so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I am so grateful for that.
Yeah. So I hope I look and sound more like myself in this video. And I think after surgery, I think I'll only feel so much better.
That's what we hear, and that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. So if you have any advice, if you've been through it, your loved one has been through it, any of this stuff, the stress test, which I'm nervous about, or having a hysterectomy, and it will be a full hysterectomy. They're going to take, why keep any of it at this point? It's all just a place where cancer can grow, basically,
Right.
So as long as they're going in there and there's already stuff on my uterus and my one ovary, they're just take it all. So if you have experience with that, I'd love to hear your stories too. This is a safe place where we talk about adult things, and I know this isn't a normal fun video, but it is our real life, and
Sure.
And we like to, I don't know, I feel like I suffered for so long needlessly that if I can help one person.
Yeah.
I know people, that's so cliche and people say it all the time, but my mom is gone. My sister that I talk to, she's like, oh yeah, that's just how and I'm not blaming her. She's like, that's exactly how perimenopause was for me.
Right. So how do you know if there's anything, amiss with that? So.
Right. And I told you everything I looked up sounded like everything was normal. So anyways, go see your doctor normally. For me, it had been since COVID, if you're curious. So, yeah, and things can grow
That's right.
in that time period. Okay, so very last thing we want to mention is some changes and some new things to the channel. So we have some international boxes we need to catch up on. Maybe we'll go live. We'd like to go live a little bit more frequently in the new year.
Yes.
Probably not the first few months, but later we'll do some more lives. I think that's really fun. Another goal for us is we talked about getting rid of Munch Pack, even though I think we have one or two to open before we stopped it. But we signed up for HelloFresh, which is
cool.
Meal
prep
box. I think most people know what HelloFresh is.
Right.
But so we'll do some cooking with you, and like maybe in real time we'll get some 30-minute meals and we'll do some in real time cooking, and then we're also going to review the boxes and say whether or not we would get that recipe again. So if you get HelloFresh or any meal kit, let us know what you think of it.
That's right. John's going to be doing some more cooking in the kitchen with you, and specifically, I'm feeling the itch to do some baking. So I'd like to include that. And one of the things that I've found recently in like going through some of our stuff that we need to take to storage is my mom's cookbook. So I found 2 binders that have some of her recipes that she had, and I'd like to go through and cook some of those with you.
We also had promised, and we definitely want to get back to doing some more international cooking, like trying to make curry for the first time, or whatever. We're going to be doing more of that. And then of course we're going to still do the fast food, what's new at Taco Bell or whatever. We like those are nice and simple to film, but we also want to take you ski with us when we go to dinner and do restaurant reviews and tell you what we think of the ambiance, show you what we got, tell you how much things cost,
Right.
and then review and say what we think of it.
For example, we'll have a short video coming out from my birthday when we went to a hot pot restaurant.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So we're going to look for some cool, interesting places to visit, some cool, interesting recipes to cook with all of you. We're still going to do snacks, and we'd like to do a lot more challenges this year. We've been threatening you with going to the world's largest truck stop. We live right by it. Every time we go anywhere, we show it to you and say, hey, we're going to do a video there. We definitely want to get to that. We want to do maybe eating gas station food for 24 hours. You know, those little like challenges. So if you have an idea for us, definitely let us know down in the comments. I think that's pretty much... so Love and Junk will be more like life updates. It'll be reviews of regular things. It'll be, you know, the stuff we mentioned before.
Camping, once we pick up camping again, and you know, more stuff will come out there.
For sure.
And also our search for a new camper.
Yeah. So come along with that. And we, like I said, we will do a video saying why we want to get a new camper. But anyways, it's been a ride this year.
It sure have.
High highs, low lows, lots of good things happened. And I wouldn't even say what I've been going through is a bad thing. It's just taken it all out of me. But I mean, the results could have been so much worse, right? And we have answers. So why am I falling down all the time? Well, now we know.
That's right.
So I think that's all we have for today. Again, thank you so much for your love and support. Wait, I'm going to start this whole over thing. All right, so I think that's all the changes, all the things, all the life updates
all we can think of for right now.
Yeah, let us know what exciting things you have coming up for 2025. We will have been together 10 years in 2025. We are hoping to buy a property in 2025. We're hoping. We're going to wait.
No, we're going to. We are going to.
We're going to wait for the right one, though. I think there will be a new vehicle in the family in 2025
coming up,
and definitely lots of purging and more like going through stuff and getting rid of stuff. We had a big garage sale at the end of the year. I think we should do another one in the spring because there's more to get rid of.
Yes.
But anyways, happy New Year to all of you. We're really excited what the new year has to bring, and we hope you are too. Hope all the best for all of our friends and family that are watching. I think that's all we have for today.
That's it, guys.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.